Hello and a very warm welcome to my channel. This morning, we give you a piece of breaking news, why Meghan Markle was blamed for defaming Kate Middleton. As we know, recently, Tatler published a story aimed at the Duchess of Cambridge, and described it as awful as well as burdensome when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry left the high royal duties. And there are rumors that Meghan Markle is responsible for leaking the recent article in Tatler magazine that shreds Kate Middleton to shreds. If you follow the trail, it leads back to Meghan Markle, and Meghan is terribly jealous of Catherine. The article was written for an editor, relatively new, and where Tatler used to be kind to the royals, this new venture of the royal renegades, Harry and Meghan, have ruined many of the old ways of dealing with royals. That will be their lasting legacy, as Harry tries to leave their mess. What an accomplishment. You've sullied the royal family, and brought them lower. Way to go, Sussexes. The editor, Richard Denner, is in love, by his now frank admission, with Meghan Markle. He says he is obsessed with Meghan. Bias? Yes. The writer, Anna Pasternak, used to write nice pieces about the real royals, living in the UK, working for the people there, and she attended school alongside Catherine. Did Anna think Catherine was so nice? This piece, which was so mean, and so hurtful, would be fine to publish? Catherine was a good target? Because she is nice? Doesn't nice count anymore? Anna is great friends with journalist, Vanessa Mulroney. Mulroney is related to Jessica Mulroney, the best and closest friend of Meghan Markle. Mulroney watched Archie when Markle flew to the UK and the US for meetings. The article, Catherine the Great, listed on the front with a gorgeous pic of Catherine, a proper duchess in her own right, as a hit piece against her by Meghan Markle devotees as listed above. Denner allowed the smear because he loves Markle, who isn't a royal anymore. Meghan also took advantage of this piece of crap journalism to say the palace never defended articles written about her that were negative. Au contraire, dearest. The palace defended Markle before she was even a fiancée of Harry's, and once she was a fiancée they stood against any negative pieces written about her that could be verified. The palace does not defend the Sussexes any longer, their bond being broken when they declared they were leaving. Up until that day on the 1st of April 2020, the palace defended Meghan many times. Shame she cannot recall the niceties done for her whilst living as a bona fide royal within the UK. The article savaged Catherine, and it even body-shamed the Duchess, claiming her to be too thin, like Diana was. Is anyone, everyone, going to defend Catherine or stand opposed, in effect joining in on the body-shaming of a woman? Will you stand for this? Anyone on Quora reading this should realize no one is allowed to body shame in this day. Shame on Anna Pasternak. Please don't bother defending Pasternak. She stepped outside the bounds of decency by body shaming a prominent and respectable woman, and that is uncool and mean-spirited. Should we comment on your body? Your shape? Even men with a paunch? Is this allowable? I find it reprehensible. I would never body shame Meghan Markle. Some have noted she didn't lose the baby weight after a year. I choose to say that's her body and she is fine. Meghan Markle's new body shape is feminine and lovely. That's a compliment, because I will not stand for body shaming and hating another woman's body. Ever. That is hating at a low level, and it is disgusting. Markle is pretty. Catherine is pretty. They both are beautiful women. I hope you can hear me. So, this article that also goes after the Cambridge kids is devious, mean and hurtful. But the hurt started with an editor's obsession with a woman who loathed Catherine, and honestly, I do not know why Markle hates Catherine to such a degree. Hate. Catherine is about love. She loves her family, and the Middleton family, who was attacked in this article too. Are there no boundaries protecting the private citizens of Great Britain? Going after the Middletons? Really? Why the hate? This piece is supposed to level the playing field, except Markle left. You still have Catherine, but can you say one nice thing about your future queen? I have heard no defense for the Duchess of Cambridge since this awful article, and those who claim this is no competition between the two, could choose to defend the current victims of the press, Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge. And the Middletons. And the Cambridge children. With Harry, I honestly believe he left the best pulpit he will ever have, hands down. Harry could have helped the people of his country so well. He could have made life-changing speeches. Harry could have helped William when he becomes king, should he? Prince Harry stood high above so many others, because he was a royal prince born into the most famous monarchy in the world. But he left his family in such a quick and abrupt manner that they didn't see it coming. Some say Harry was planning on leaving and becoming an international roving royal, but Queen Elizabeth didn't seem to know Harry and wife's statement of independence was coming. Had to beat the sun to news? Lie. Stall for time. Delay. Say it isn't happening, because people do that all the time. Then find the appropriate time to leave the royals. Had the couple waited, they would not be sitting in a huge mansion in Hollywood wondering where to go next. That planning could have occurred in the UK whilst waiting for the pandemic to be cured. They decided to hit the send button on their Instagram, and wow, they lost a bunch in doing so. They could have left on a far more pleasant note. As to Harry, man up. Your queen says you need to look good, then stop wearing shoes with a hole in them. Iron your clothes, wear clean clothes, and make your wife wear pantyhose. Because, yeah, it's all about Queen E and her preferences, and so not about Meghan's acting career. Man up. Tell Meghan, no, you're not giving up drinking a beer with the boys, and you certainly are not giving up your friends. Who made Meghan God? You? Harry lost himself in this marriage somehow, because he does what Meghan wants. What about him? He looked completely miserable going through his last royal engagements. Like he had lost it all, and for what? Bereft. Harry looked bereft. Not happily married and super excited to go on to his next chapter of life, which wasn't planned, except to be roving royals and make tons on Sussex Royal. No. Harry made a huge mistake. I don't care if there are sex tapes of him. Unless it involves underage children, nothing is that shocking anymore. We have seen it all. Harry made a huge mistake. He seems like he gets it now. Meghan isn't some big TV actress. Their cachet as a couple had everything to do with him and nothing to do with her. Harry sees that clearly. And now they have nothing to trade up for, since Harry is essentially a non-royal. Mistake moving? Yeah. Huge. The whole time this weird couple clamored for privacy, I kept thinking Scotland was fairly private. Go there. And now we hear stories of how much Meghan hated living in Windsor. She hated Frogmore Cottage. Meghan wanted to live at Kensington, except Catherine and Prince William knew Meghan had been a yacht girl and they saw through her. So Meghan isn't going to live by family who was onto her modus operandi. Where to go then? Harry had it all. He won't ever have it all, ever again. No, that all ended when he decided to not play by the rules, and the royal family will never forget what Harry did. Meghan wasn't in the marriage to make anyone happy save herself. Meghan, though gauche, could have told Kate and William that she had changed and was devoted to serving the people of the UK. But Kate and William knew she was, as Meghan herself so eloquently quipped, a civil servant in a tiara with no plans of staying for long. Harry knew all along too. Complicit is what I'd call it. He knew they were breaking rules all over the place. Harry married the wrong girl. Princes need to be careful, but I think Harry rather enjoyed the ruse. I think he liked thumbing his nose at rules and protocols. Until it affected him publicly to where he was being booed. Can't imagine that felt good. Then having staff turn over at such a rapid rate only confirmed to most that Meghan was not a nice mistress. The public was onto them. So I say, good riddance. Seriously. Harry made this mess. He played with fire and got burnt. Might come out of this a little crispy perhaps. As long as he comes out of this alive. Make no joke about this. It isn't in the least bit funny. Harry looks very depressed and not himself. As long as he doesn't kill himself. Not that. But as long as he comes out of this experience alive, I think he'll have learned his lesson. At such a price too. Oh, how the might have fallen, and so it seems for the younger son of Diana. Not only me, but some fans also discuss them. A fan said, after I read the article and knew the relationship between the writer and Meghan Markle, I had no doubts why the article was sour toward Kate. If she thinks that Kate and her family are social climbers, at least Kate is marvelously climbing to be the queen consort while Meghan Markle has climbed to get the spare and down into her own messy agendas. I'm so done with Meghan Markle's PR machine trying to paint her as a perfect naive person when it's clearly true that she is not. Another fan wrote, I think you're right that Catherine's family could be something that made Meghan jealous. Having Doria run out on her when she was a kid had to be traumatizing. She definitely didn't have a traditional family. Non-traditional families can be great, but I don't think Meghan's family was. Catherine would be very intimidating to the type of woman who sees other women as competition. She appears to be perfect. Of course, she's not, and I'm sure she has lots of human faults, but the public doesn't see that. That must have driven Meghan nuts. And more comment I can't give you now, but you can leave a comment for me below and we talk about Meghan Markle. If you loved our new channel, please subscribe and share my video for everyone. Now, have a nice day and see you in the next videos.